it's not on Morph, it's not on the mid. That's an acceptable loss.
It's take a picture right now, switch it over to net worth. This will be the one and only time you see SSA Spartan at top of the net worth.
That's also probably true.
This man, I love him. Just to be clear, I love Spartan. I love meeting him at Boston Major, supporting him back when he was at MLG Austin, where they had that big upset over Evil Geniuses. But this man plays the hardest 6 position you've ever seen. This man does not fear death. He is a true psychopath 5. He just likes to run in there and get some vision, cause some chaos.
He embraces death as an old friend, right? This guy's definitely hyper aggressive. There are downsides to that, but as you most eloquently put it, not afraid to put his body on the line. That is for sure.
Now you called out this, Pano was very pessimistic about the choices here. And you did call out the Void Spirit last pick, but you didn't seem super enthusiastic about it.
Kind of felt like the best of what was left. That matchup can be pretty good for Void Spirit if you play it well. And I think in the game it can be decent as well, depending on how you itemize. Like you can be the initiator with an Ags and just silence people. You can get a Linkage at some point. You're a high mobility hero, so this matchup can be okay for Void Spirit, but I also felt like it wasn't exactly what they were trying to get out of that last pick. Like a lot of times if your last pick feels super restricted, it means the draft wasn't super favorable for you. So kind of felt like they were under pressure to pull it out, and maybe it wasn't their first choice. But I think it's an okay Void Spirit game. I really like the Morphling in this game too. I think this is a hero we haven't seen a lot of after that Ags change and the E-Blade change. People still kind of figuring out how do you want to itemize this hero. But when we're seeing a lot of Sand King in this meta, Morphling outside of Anti-Mage is one of the better counters to this hero, just in terms of super high physical burst. He, of course, steals your Burrow Strike like Rubik 2.0.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what Nubito can get done this game. I think a lot of this game comes down to how he plays the fights in terms of, does he steal Flat Cannon, does he get Burrow Strike, playing around his DP's front line ability? That's going to be the big question. But Matumba,
that's a pretty good kick. Desire, gotta watch out for his Earth Spirit, man. It is very dangerous.
And, speaking of that Spartan net worth, he's all the way back, straight back to the bottom there. It didn't take long.
Started from the top, now we here. Thug 8-6, 8-2 on Mickey. So right now, the Void Spirit is actually winning the CS matchup, though the big scariest thing is whether or not he actually gets killed in this matchup. The Gyrocopter IO I wanted to actually talk about. I believe this is one of the Gyrocopters specifically is one of the most picked heroes in the Western European region. Most of the time, I believe 75% of the time, has been paired up with an IO and has an above 50% win rate right now. So it does seem to be pretty good for Western Europe specifically, while other regions may not have been picking it quite as much.
I mean, this combo is just always strong in the metas where people are willing to kind of practice it, play it, and get it to the point where it's a well-oiled machine. That's what I always think about. Like, I feel like IO Gyro is never weak. It can be okay-ish. It can't be insanely broken, but if you practice it, you get good with it, you understand the rotations, the farming patterns, all that jazz. It's always going to feel pretty strong. And up low up here.
They are pushing this one to the limit, man. Twice now, MATUMBAMAN has been dove, but either way, economic damage is being done. Even if he's surviving, he's not able to be in lane right now. Ooh, big kill, though. Looks like Burrow Strike Arrow catches Nubito out, and they do manage to get the kill in the off lane here for Liquid.
The biggest thing about this IO Gyro lane, too, is that they can keep him low. I mean, that's the ultimate way to keep him low. It could potentially free up the Desire here to make those moves mid in pushes like this that Mickey wants to be able to do. He wants to be able to dive. This is where you wish you had that Earth Spirit TP. Spartan's going to threaten it late, but this is just, let me come and take that XP you left for me,
Yeah, pretty much. Oh no, I TP'd mid. My mid laner's already dead.
And I honestly think, it's cool they got this IO kill top, but I almost feel like this mid lane is the more pivotal lane in this game, and you really wish your Earth Spirit was higher on resources so you can help sway those dives, because this is every Bat Rider versus a melee hero matchup. He's going to try and get those dive kills so he can push the lane in, get the runes, farm it up afterwards. And if you ever turn those around, it's super big for your mid. It's something to think about going later here, because Mickey is now almost a level ahead. He's going to try and abuse it.
Foxy missing out on that arrow. Looks like it ended up hitting a creep in the mid lane.
Did he miss in the end?
Yeah, maybe that's exactly what he wanted. Bullseye. Mickey's like, what the hell? Where was that arrow from?
Yeah, so you go watch the replay later, you're like, come on. What are you doing, man?
Zai, meanwhile, level 2 burrow strike, so he's not doing the maxed out sandstorm. Looks like he just preferred to go for the higher kill potential, which it did pay off. They got a kill on the Morphling, so
he's paying off a lot. He's top of the PS more top of the network. He's already level 5. What is he flying out here? Flying out boots, so choosing to get a little more aggressive than more tanky. And yeah, I don't blame him because they're just killing this lane. This is kind of a spooky lane at this point. We see another combo come out.
Yeah. They're going to be able to get some good damage. This time around, Nubito did manage to get off his Morph strength, so he's going to be okay.
This Morph, you went for this glove. Traditionally, you see your mask so you can stay in the lane, but it's kind of getting punished for his item build, and we see more lean into the top with these Spirit Siphons.
MATUMBAMAN baiting that one again. It did have both the raindrop as well as the stick charges, but it wasn't quite good enough to be able to get the kill on the death prop.
I still feel like Liquid's okay keeping this Earth Spirit top because I still feel like Earth Spirit is a hero. He wants to be able to make these rotations, and if he's low resources, we're going to see here 6-minute rune fight. Does have spells up, so this is where you want to turn it.
Mickey grabs get it, but it's going to be Mickey who gets the kill instead, pulls him into the air. Boxy will take the last hit off of that one. Liquid now up to 1,000 net worth lead as they continue to own this mid lane and as well as the bottom lane. So 2 out of 3 lanes being won by Team Liquid right now.
I mean, that is not a rune Mickey should just be able to run up and grab against 2 heroes with a disable there.
Yeah.
So he gets the bonus in the kill too, or I guess, you know, gets it for his boy Boxy, who, you know, Mickey doing a little roaming for him, but he's off to a pretty good start on this bat, which is exactly where you want to be with this hero. This is not a play from behind hero. This is a get super high level off mid and abuse those levels to take over the map. Yeah. See Zai doing some creep cutting. This is a lot of caustic pop potential.
Yeah, a lot of very low creeps, and sure enough, SSA Spartan, they did try and pop. Okay. Desire's actually going to go back in here and finish off Zai. A big kill. That trade-off of the 5 position for the top net worth hero in the game, not bad.
Yeah, that's a super big kill for Zai here. And also earn charges. Like when you go this early earn on a support especially, these charges are insanely important because it's a pretty nice early power spike. So I kind of want to see what they try and do with this. This back kill would be huge if they can line it up, but Mickey's pretty tanky. He has a raindrop 1 and still a fairy fire.
We're going to try for it. Mickey, he sees the opportunity to maybe turn around and do some damage. Sure enough, he runs into a bramble, but still Desire's low enough, he will fall. Mickey may have overextended himself, flies over the cliff, tries to get away from the Void Spirit, but SSA Spartan gets the kill instead. They do trade out though, Void Spirit going down, so still to the favor of Team Liquid.
Yo, Boxy's loving these mid lane trades, I'll tell you that. But he's already level 6.5 in 7.5 minutes. I don't think I've seen a higher level 4 in my life.
That one was a pretty greedy offlaner, I would say, and now playing the 4th position. He doesn't find the extra farm. DP out. Oh, it's going to be close, but he gets away.
Wand charges from Io, always saving the day.
Nicely played by Insania. He looks to be able to tether away, actually kind of baiting it because Mickey is right here.
That Exo is coming back though, so you're gonna have to make this move quick.
They're gonna try for it, and they do manage to get the lasso pull back in. The fire burnout will happen before the Exorcism Ghost returns. Now they're gonna look at Desire, who does not have a roll away for, well, for far too long. Let's put it that way. He's dead.
Very nice rotation from Mickey, using that lasso timing very well, getting his IO a bunch of XP too. These are gonna be some really high level supports on Liquid side, and IO Mirana, I mean, it's not like you get some crazy timing off these heroes with levels, but they're getting pretty jacked from this early game, benefiting from some of these like core rotations. I'd like to see them pay it back as we go into this mid game, but they should be in a decent position to do that.
Now, you did say that Nubito, who also known as Focus, for those of you guys who don't know, he's somebody who rejoined the team this season after he was out last season, has been a part of the Greek family for a while now. It was a period of time he was on like Team Family at Finum, so he's definitely been around with SSA Spartan for quite some bit. But you said this is a good Morphling game. You're a big fan of it for this one, right?
Yeah, there's a lot you can do in this game. You, of course, are going to see. That's not the way you want to use those high levels, but very nice pick up for them defending the ward and quick smoke afterwards. I think Morph can get a lot done in this game. He has very good spells to steal. He will scale really well in this game in terms of the matchup versus Gyro, and he is going to itemize with his Lincoln's build, which is annoying for Bad. Ooh, Mickey is just getting 3v1 here.
All this burst damage. Does anybody get TP in to help him out here? Or maybe he doesn't need it. Push them back with a flame break back to the safety of his tower.
He's so tanky. He really is. Ito's here.
Yeah, trying.
But I mean, Euro bringing health more. He didn't even finishing him off.
Oh, nice arrow. Is that going to be enough for the kill? Looks like it with the higher levels that you were talking about. Okay, he had a big one there. As the say, Spartan's packing.
Heavy from the high ground.
Yeah, he's going to go for it, and he did not get off the morph strength. So, Novito, that rotation into the mid lane was already kind of awkward, but now it becomes deadly for Brain.
Yeah, this is not a rotation with a high probability to work out. Like, you're basically a Morph who's gone full farming build 404. You have no spells to offer. Your tiny right click isn't going to do much.
And no.
It just kind of works right into Zai's timing, who insta gets a kill off that Blink Dagger, which is super early, 10 minutes here. He's having the best game of everybody, and
again and again and again, they are focusing down Mickey, and this time they brought a fourth hero to the mix. With the Exorcism, they'll be able to pressure the mid tower as well. So really nice move by Brain if they can get this objective.
They're looking for
Zai. Looking at the side, does manage to blink away before the roll-in hits him. Tower is going to fall. Boxy tries to snipe it, but no. Damage is too much from Exorcism.
So very nice Exorcism move. Getting some revenge for the previous one, which didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
This time, if you ever get to initiate on the Bat Rider in this game, it's a lot of Liquid's damage that isn't coming out. It's all those stacks that aren't getting done up. So that's probably the best way to take these early engagements for Brain. Also, where the support shine. Like, if Desire can find the rolls in, find the silence, the slow, it gives the Dark Willow time to follow up. It gives the DP time to gap close. That's pretty much his biggest job this game. He's making it happen. Already back up to level 7 here. This hero can get tanky too, so he has no problem just running in those fights, putting his life on the line. We're gonna see Liquid give up this top tier 1 to Morphling. And I feel like whenever this happens, whenever Morph just gets to take this tower for free, he feels insanely good about it. Because this hero is not, you don't think of him traditionally as some, crazy early tower taker, but he will take it really fast if he's left alone to do it.
Arrow coming in. He tried to kick him away. The arrow still landed, but a brilliant move there from Desire. Is it going to be enough, Thug? Oh, the actual step out. The one little arrow shot is following him, but it's not going to be good enough. Very nicely done by Desire. He got him away from Zai's right clicks, and that was probably enough to save him. SSA Spartan, nobody can save you, my friend.
Where's my kick?
Desire, help!
You can only kick so many people. You might end up kicked yourself, so you gotta put him to good use. He almost kicked him into Matumba, who was like kind of flanking there. That would have been very unfortunate, but Zai is just on a mission this game.
Oh no, he went agility. That was kind of awkward. Good thing there wasn't any damage follow-up, but it is enough to be able to get the kill on 11, aka Skylark, another member of SSA Spartan's family who's been around for quite some time.
Zai is taking this game over right now. He's already up to basically bots. TP's bottom. He is playing the heavy farm role. Gonna play to scale and dish out a huge amount of damage. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go that E-Blade build we've seen a lot.
Yeah.
Just like you get the Kaya power up, you get this Ghost Scepter built in, which could be nice this game.
Okay,
a little bit, but
to the Cursed Crown, stunned by himself though. Desire needed to be there a little bit sooner, and maybe they could have got him. Desire's in and Desire's out. Now there is going to be 11 sitting here with them. They're going to be ready for this team fight. They're going to go for it. Exorcism on out. 11. He's going to have to survive through this burst damage. Desire's going to help him out, locking down the Gyrocopter, and with the Morphling over the top, they've easily got the damage. Quickly rolls for another one. Does manage to hit the back line there. Insania does get a tether away though.
Any direction, boys? Any detection?
Yeah, there's just Zai there here in the middle. The roll on through with the detection. Flame break.
We got
arrow also landing, and the burst damage is just enough. The Morphling dies before the strength attribute can come back up. 11 on the retreat now. The first part of the fight, brilliant for Brain seemingly, but the latter half not so good.
I mean, there needs to be more dust on in this game. You're playing versus Mirana and Sand King. It's usually a bad idea to leave heroes on your backline and overextend like that, and we see why the reinitiation power is just way too high, especially from this type of Liquid lineup who really is going to enjoy picking out the targets they want to be able to go on one by one. But a really nice Exorcism initiation, like DP, you've definitely seen the power of it in that fight, and Morphling looked pretty good until he got flame breaked into an arrow, and
yeah, that was
That hurts.
Nasty.
I mean, I'm surprised he's choosing to join these fights this early too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not the greatest power spike for the hero, and not really like what this Lincoln's item build strives to do. Though this build isn't amazing at just farming either. Kind of puts him in an awkward position, but you have to imagine if he didn't join those 2 fights, I feel like it's not going to change the game drastically. Like,
yeah, I don't think so either.
I feel like you let him develop farther, and then maybe, you know, the fight's going in your favor, you TP, you wait for him to get that gyro kill, go back to farming, you're happy.
Big kill. Big kill. Epicenter's going to go down. Desire once again was trying to go for the saving roll, kick out. He is going to be able to roll away. The Terrorize is going to be able to land. That's actually going to force Zai back in through the tier 2. A decent amount of damage there. Desire. He sees Zai, but he's not ready to roll on him. He's a little bit too healthy, so Zai is going to be able to make it out after a quick kill onto Skylark.
He's already looking top. So Zai, he's picking up the tempo of this game for sure. He's pretty much driving where these liquid kills are going to come from, playing the initiator while Mickey trying to farm to that BKB timing, which is probably the strongest timing for Pat in this early game this patch. Just that bot's BKB making him pseudo-invincible for at least 1 or 2 fights.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times you don't see double bots. You know, usually just one hero, but Zai and Mickey are making it look pretty good here as Bramer just kind of like struggling to be able to keep up around the map.
Nobody wants to leave it?
Nobody wants to.
Alright. I agree though, it is an interesting choice. They also have this IO reload, right? So it's like
yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of heavy map pressure. It forces Brain to really think about who's shoving lanes, who's showing, and how they're coordinating that, because you're going to get insta-punished. Like, the thing about Boots of Travel is the more of them you have, the more powerful they kind of become at playing that map.
Yeah.
But the downside is you're investing a lot of gold into Boots right here.
Yeah, not a damage item, not a save, nothing like that. Yeah.
So you kind of have to be careful with the fights you take, but they can let you set up a lot better fights that are in your favor.
And we saw Liquid was very careful, right? They didn't defend that mid tower with the exorcism move. They also gave up top tower, which you talked about the Morphling joining in and taking that. So they have been very specific about what fights they take.
This is also an item that can help you farm more aggressively because you can join moves after, which can catapult you to a faster timing later on. So you get that 20-minute mark, you might have more than because of the bots. And also limiting where your opponents can farm. Like I said, the biggest thing about all of this map mobility coming out from the double bots and the reload is, like, does Morphling feel safe to just show on this wave up here? He doesn't, right? He doesn't know where Zai is right now. He doesn't know where that IO gyro pair is. It's making the map really hard to play, and you never feel good in total when you're getting out farmed, even if you have a decent timing coming up. It means it's just going to make that timing harder to use. So kind of look towards if Brain wants to group up and try and force the Roche with Echo Exorcism, or they're kind of happy just farming and trading here. You have this Morphling Lincolns, but Death Prophet's a bit away from BKB, and I think that's like their big, okay, we can force the Roche on. They might choose to do it anyway, but Gary versus Morana, who can arrow and kind of scout it out, versus Sand King Gyro AoE. Not the easiest fight to take without that BKB.
Hasterin for Mickey, so now the map just got that much scarier.
Yeah, he's really scary right now. Even Matumba, power of IO gyros, you're gonna farm them hat pretty fast. You want this Chrysalis Falcon Blade. Pretty much already up to his own BKB, so he's gonna be pretty down to join any of these fights after that. A lot of Braim's damage in this early game is coming out from that magical damage, so he's gonna feel pretty confident, especially with the mech on Insania behind him. Like, this is kind of the benefit of that early game that went Liquid's way. They're they're like a little over-farmed in my opinion, and Insania with that early mech and
oh, he gets him! The flame break pushback and the extra movement speed is just enough, and this is what you were talking about. It's very hard to be able to play on the map because at any point in time, you've got these two gankers who can show up with their boots of travels.
It's just so hard to read, especially with the lack of wards. Like, Liquid did a decent job at dewarding. They have all of the obs up on the map right now. So Brain, they need to pick which areas they take over carefully and make sure they can actually hold them. Because every time one of these wards goes down, it makes all of Liquid's itemization even better. Like, it makes his Piranha hold better, it makes the travel better, pick-off game become stronger. It Meanwhile, Matumba's just farming, right? How do you even touch this guy right now when you're scared about shoving or showing on the lanes that you need to get out in the first place?
Right.
I mean, I guarantee you Matumba, he doesn't even feel like there's any hero on this side of the map. He's one.
Casually just chases Thug out of lane. Not like he was ever going to come close to killing him. Zai picked up Yule Scepter, which means that Morphling link
being top.
Oh yeah, they're going in. They already got the kill on a Spartan, and now do a little damage to the tower, perhaps. He's gonna have Shard soon as well. So Yule Scepter, he can blink, break Linken's on Nubito, and then quickly burrow strike him. So it's not even like that Linken's feels super safe right now for Morphling.
I don't see this map getting easier for him to play, so I feel like this Death Prophet BKB is go time. Like, he's 11's closing in. I almost said old 11 there. Tripped me up, you know, too many. He's closing in on it, and that is, to me, they have to make something happen with it. A good team fight into a Roshan, something like this. Because they're getting out pressure on the map. It's going to close in pretty fast for them, and it's going to be too spooky for Morph to put these lanes out at a certain point. Once those Linken's breaks exist, which another reason why Zai gets this Yule's like, makes it very easy for him to just blink and pop that Linken.
Oh, geez, Zai was ready for that one. Instantly pouncing with a burrow strike and almost catching him with the flame break. Timing slightly off there. The arrow's coming in long range, but it's not going to land.
He was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I would really like to see Liquid kind of set up for this top half of the map, like smoke there, bots there, set up for it, because you know Braim's not going to defend this, and we already see Zai. He's looking for it. This is a good move.
They got the relocate ready to go too, so they're going to be able to catch 11. The BKB, which was on its way, will be further delayed by 45 seconds as Death Prophet waits to come back to life.
That's your reload. Everybody's up here now. Even more chain kills. Liquid might be thinking about Roche themselves pretty soon here if Gyro feels confident he has the damage. The rest of their lineup's not providing a lot, but this is that cross-map movement that's just so scary for Braim because their heroes do not have the ability to match it.
Void Spirit's gonna be in from behind. They're gonna try and go for the fast kill to the Gyrocopter. They keep him chain stun and he dies. Now they're gonna be able to turn it into the Sand King and catch Zai as well, potentially, who breaks the Lincoln. Does manage to get off his own burrow, but no epicenter. That's stopped by Thug. Goes through. Morphling does manage to finish off that kill with the last remnants of his BKB. He'll retreat. Pretty nice play there from Braim, showing some signs of life, showing that they can push back against this Liquid squad that is much higher farm than them.
That was the best case scenario for them. Huge find, the best target. Matumba just cannot even get BKB off, and Io, he reload back to the other side of the map, so he has to TV to outpost and walk there. Just caught him off guard with numbers, with limited vision, so honestly a bit of a misstep by Liquid. I think they were the ones in control of that type of situation and choosing those numbers fights. And
yeah,
but really good awareness from Braim here to just chain stun Matumba up and destroy him. And Nubito getting some good burrow strikes. See some of the power of it in that fight. And his fresh BKB doing a lot of work here.
Oh yeah, allowing him to be able to pursue Zai like this with the little fear of reprisal.
Even the Sandstorm was super annoying in the fight. Like, dodge some random flags, or maybe Liquid's not going to have dust or detection this game. Oh yeah, destroyed a lot. So this is why this is some of the power of the Morphling this game, and he's slowly coming online. Like, this build's a slow build, but once you get there, he's going to be pretty annoying to deal with.
I mean, the fact that he's higher net worth than the Gyrocopter, who presumably has farmed quite a number of stacks thanks to the IO, like, it's a credit to Nubito.
Yeah, it'll go a decent way. Unfortunately, this isn't the Morphling Willow of old, but
that's true. Yeah, God, what a...
And now he's got to steal enemy spells instead of his own abusive ones, but you know, what can you do? You got to take what you can get. But it is impressive that he's up there. And Tumba, I feel like he hasn't really died at all this game, but that one death. And obviously, his team has also been farming a lot on the map. Like, these double bots are going to take up a lot of the lanes and stuff, so he's up there, but it's also what you can do with it. He has that IO to help him. See if Nubito can have the same impact in the fight. It's going to come down to the initiation for Braim here.
This is a hard one. They run into Mickey, who has a BKB. And he goes ahead. Okay, so he's going to come up through. Roche does land into DeVito, breaking through that. The arrow's not going to be there in time. Zai is going to get just demolished by that Morphling, but at the same time, Earth Spirit's already dead, and MATUMBAMAN, this exorcism is destroying him right now. They need to be able to release some of this, but DeVito going in for it. Insania, he's trying to heal away from MATUMBAMAN. Oh, the flame break came through the last second. That was just enough damage to be able to get the kill. Mickey being chased down now with no BKB. DeVito, waveform through, catches Mickey, killing spree for him as he is racking it up. It was a slow start for this Morphling, but he has heating up the last 25 minutes. This 25-minute mark, he has demolished this.
You say he's boiling with rage. Is that what you're about to say? I thought you were going for the...
I thought about it. I was like, that's a step too far for SVG. He won't like that.
I mean, we're seeing the power of him in these long fights. Like, honestly, I feel like Zai felt like that initiation was good, but then a second afterwards, he's like, yeah, I'm pretty heated, guys. And then double BKB here from Brain. The DP just gets to shred him on the come down from that Ewel's. And then it's kind of like, is this a fight you want to take? I mean, Mickey kills his Earth Spirit, but he doesn't have his BKB now either. How much is getting run down? There's just not that turnaround without the big tanky Sand King to kind of bulk up your front line. And super nice flame break from the meter to finish him off.
Yeah, some sort of miscommunication there as we go back inside of the game where Zayas died again. So maybe he just started setting a tempo for himself of being able to dive in, but now Brain are strong enough to be able to rebuke him every single time he shows up. Insania tried to go for the relocate out, but MATUMBAMAN had already popped his BKB, so that was another kind of flop there from Team Liquid in that last engagement.
Yeah, just an awkward fight. I think that go is just too deep from Zai. Like, it looks good, but again, you're kind of doing the initiating for Brain. Like, they would love to take this Sand King out first every time. It's like ideal unless you, I mean, they'll be happy to take any of the cores out, but without the BKB on Zai right now, he's the easiest for them to just kind of shred down. So I think they were like kind of happy to take that on their doorstep. And this is catapulting Morph towards that Scotty, which to me is, that's going to be like one of their best timings this game is what they can get done with that, because it's super scary for this Batrider and Gyro to get hit by this Scotty just slowed down into all of Brain's fall.
Okay, so Scotty's done now. Is there, like, do you think Brain should just be hyper aggressive at this point and take any fight that's offered to them? Or are they okay just to chill and keep scaling towards late game?
Yeah, I think this is where you kind of want to put the pressure on if you're Brain. I feel like you're really strong. Like, you have the Vessel and Earth Spirit, you have this Playmail BKB on Death Prophet, you have this full Exorcism ready to go, and of course that Morphling with his Scotty. I'm kind of surprised they haven't tried to maybe force Roche. They felt confident enough to do it, or just take the aggressive slow path. Like we saw, like that last fight, they were kind of gifted that initiation. When they're being the initiators and going deep into Liquid, that's where things like this reload save, MATUMBA gets a free vision fight, and he's just slacking everybody. If Mickey gets a better lasso target than the Earth Spirit, you know, if he gets one of these cores, that's when some of those things can become a little easier for Liquid. Yeah. So they might not feel super confident just playing the ultra aggressive one time. But I do think, like, they have to be wanting this Roshan on the table right now, because this Aegis on Morph would be a huge deal.
Liquid has a pretty good idea of where Brain is as they very aggressively push in that mid lane. Now the question is, are they going to be able to contest this Roche go from Brain? I mean, he is currently soloing it.
This is a slow Roche, so it's 100% going to get contested here.
Thankfully, they saw the arrow coming.
That's an Axe arrow. Keep it in mind.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of single target burst if they manage to catch Void Spears lane. This is where I kind of wish they did that Roche like a minute ago, you know? Sometimes when you wait like that and the map gets stalled out, like Liquid's gonna feel like something should be happening, you know? I think they did have a window to kind of sneak it or do it, but just lost it a bit. Every time they lose minutes like this, MATUMBA's happy getting to his next item. We saw him complete that full Daedalus, so his damage is ramping up.
How does the Morphling against Gyro IO work as we start going later into the game? Should we be concerned about Brain losing some of their power?
not in the Morphling department, and I think Void Spirit can scale super well too, but it's also going to come down to small things like, can he steal flak and start outputting that damage? That's like one of the biggest things about this matchup.
Right.
Is he stealing Burrow Strike and stunning a core before they BKB? That's probably the next biggest thing he can do. That's going to be a large portion of this Morph's impact, because if Gyro gets a free fight, he just gets to go and hit this Death Prophet, for example, who's lassoed and flak everybody. That's going to be a pretty hard fight to take for Braim's backline. Like, the Morph's going to be okay, but you know, what about some of these? What about his friends on the back?
It's true.
Need
friends to lift you up.
Exactly.
Zai is trying to finish up his BKB right now, and he's going to push this wave into the tower with these boots of travel. So once again, we're going to see this effect where they're able to start poking at tier 3s, knowing that Braim want to keep playing around this Roshan. They're going to send probably their least impactful hero when it comes to the team fight. Spartan's going to go back to defend this in case Liquid does try and force something, and sure enough they do. 5-man smoke in, running straight to the triangle. Spartan is trying to make his way back right now, but Braim may not recognize what's about to happen.
He's gonna just go here with Blink Arcade. Like,
Scan lands, they're gonna be able to grab the Void Spirit, the Chainstone coming in for the arrow. It doesn't land inside, the Euro goes off in time, and Thug jump, trying to dissimulate away as well, but the Gyrocopter caught in by the Morphling. They're being slowed down. 11 is right on top of both him and the IO right now. MATUMBAMAN is getting shredded. Instania tries to go for the relocate out, but he's not able to make it fast enough. Gyrocopter's dead. He's going to come right back inside of the pit. So far, a 3 versus 4. If Braim want to keep this fight going, it's going to be off of the back of this Morphling entirely. But Liquid isn't going to be able to force Roshan without their Gyrocopter anyway.
These reload timings just not working out in the fight. I feel like Liquid's almost kind of deciding whether they want to take it or not, and Matumba's running. It's going to be hard for him to run out of these engagements versus Scotty versus almost hasted Death Prophet who just runs him down.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Death Prophet managed to catch Instania with the silence.
Yeah, I think it's delaying it for sure. We're going to see a skirmish here.
Okay, Nabito's here, but then again, so is Mickey. Both the Switch Spirit heroes are in trouble, but Desire is the one to be able to make sure the Sand King does die here. Instania goes for the TP out under the protection of Mickey, but still, now they're dead on Sand King for a full minute. Braim's up with 5.
This is where you wish you could do that Roach a little faster. See how much they can get off it, but Thug getting his Yules off is huge here. I think Mickey was debating whether he had to actually lasso him there or not, but he does have Kaya Sange, so that extra little stab, sometimes it throws you off. He ended up killing him on the backline anyway, but it's super delayed.
Oh yeah, see, Instania, he was silenced the entire time, whether by the Earth Spirit or the Death Prophet. Either way, they have lots of answers for that. You see Spartan commanding his team, potentially to victory here.
Given the speech mid-game.
Yeah.
And they still have 25 seconds, no Sand King, trying to force this Roche.
You see the Earth Spirit on this high ground. They kind of want to go for him here. The arrow lands. They are going to go for the lasso pullback. The Lotus Orb is going to be a little bit too late, but they maybe can get the kill on the back rider in turn, but Instania quickly gets the heals in. Either way, though, it's a Roshan for Braim. A big victory.
I guarantee you, Desire's happy with that trade. Like,
yeah.
40 seconds out of the game for an Aegis on his Morphling. Take that any day of the week, so things starting to heat up for this Morphling's window to kind of push his team towards victory here. Now, 2 lives on Morph. He can play super aggressive in the fights. Like, now you don't want to waste lasso on him. And it was already hard enough at the start. Even saw Zai, you know, he's playing with this Vega Grenade. It's one of the better Lincoln's dealing tools as well.
Oh, yeah.
People always complain about it, but they did have some window, but now this Aegis on the Morph is just going to make it really difficult.
Real fast pick off onto Spartan as he was exploring in front of Nubito, making sure nobody was around. They were, so they kill Spartan. Pull back here.
Poking him.
Just a bit of pokes.
Letting him know what's up, you know. I got Ags, I got a EDR from Quickening Charm, so.
It's a good damage check, you know?
Exactly.
Just being like, all right, how close can I get you? 100 to 0.
I mean, it's also going to force him to base, so small victories count.
Sure.
This Void Spirit, he'll do a lot of damage too. The fight lasts long enough. But he can definitely do a lot of disruption in the fight. We saw his silence messing with Instania's reload last fight. Now he has 2 more to deal with. So it's pretty annoying. The downside is he's like the best lasso target in a sense, right? If he gets lassoed, he's gonna get bursted down on that. That's a lot of damage down the brain. So kind of have to be careful. And at the same time, he kind of wants to be that hero that lasts the longest. Get multiple rounds off.
A little bit surprised that 11 isn't thinking about building up a Shivas, just because IO Gyrocopter, they're usually going to focus on so much heal. We now have the Satanic that is done for the Gyrocopter as well, I believe. So
yeah, they do have that Vessel. They have the Scotty. Shivas could be up there. He chose to go the Lotus, which hard to blame him this game when it feels like Burrow and Lasso, the only two stuns from Liquid that their follow-up in Rocket and Arrow need to kind of connect with. If you return either of those to the sender, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, and now he's thinking about going for a refresher to make sure there isn't that Exorcism downtime.
Rain looking for the jump here.
Going for the Terrorize.
That was a bold
That would have been a sneaky one, Spartan.
You know, it's only 90 seconds. It's an accept. I mean, I'm not sure if they would have jumped. Let's say you do terrorize them there. Is that the best go? I don't know, but sends a message.
Yeah, I guess so. Does send a message.
I don't know what the message is, but he sent it.
The message is, I'm not afraid to throw around my spells because I'll probably start the next fight dead. Scotty's going to be next for MATUMBAMAN because Scotty's still quite good against Death Prophet and Morphling as well. Both sides really like this heal reduction where they can get it.
There's a Mirana ult. Ikke's looking off the back.
Mickey is going to be able to find the ult. Are they going to be able to get the kill this time around? Yeah, they throw everything at him. They didn't try and make sure, the arrow
status is this for you.
This time, the arrow is going to be thrown at 11 off the Eul Scepter. That's going to force out the BKB. Now is Liquid going to pursue? They still be fighting into an Aegis, and you can see Brame is not afraid of this. They're playing around their outpost. They have a buyback on Void Spirit and the extra life on Morphling.
Remember, this is their Aegis window. Now, this is already 4 minutes of it gone. There's only 1 minute left of this Morphling here if they want to try and take an aggressive fight, but honestly, it doesn't even feel like they're trying to find it too much. I mean, we saw that YOLO terrorize mid. I wouldn't exactly count that as trying to take, an actual fight. So I'm kind of surprised they feel okay stalling this game.
It was a Hail Mary for sure.
At the same time, I can understand it's difficult to get that engagement because Liquid is really good at playing these side lanes. Going back to that early game that was so good for them with the double bots reload. Still an effect here. And even Boxy shoving bottom pretty fast, so Liquid's just not giving them this Aegis fight very wisely. I think they should be confident going into the next engagement here with Tumba's items and full BKB on Zai now. He's a bit harder to bring down.
Yeah, it's crazy how Brame could feel stronger in team fights, but because of this double boots and travel and the split pushing, I'm never sure how Brame actually takes a fight on Liquid's side of the map confidently, because whenever they're in one lane, the other two are being pushed in constantly.
Right, that's where I feel like this Aegis can help you. If you leave the Morph on his own, he can shove one wave, you can smoke to another part of the map and show this Morph without him being afraid.
Unfortunately, that Aegis has expired.
Now you can't.
They're trying to pounce.
And good timing by Liquid here to recognize it.
Death Prophet is actually, they missed this game, but they somehow see him. They have a ward on the high ground. Oh no. 11, I'm not sure what that hiding spot was supposed to be exactly. Oh, he thinks there's a ward up there. I'm not sure how they saw him, but that's actually a Radiant ward.
I'm not sure what he's planning to do from that position, but he gets punished for it, and a good read by Liquid. Again, how is Brame going to set up these fights? That's the big question for me. I feel like there's a decent chance they can win them, but Liquid's not giving them a window. Playing this map very well for the last 10 minutes or so. Seems like they feel very confident going into this late game off the back of this Gyro, who also got that Trickster cloak, so it's a lot of extra resist and even evasion that Morph might not be expecting this next fight. Every bit of tank ability helps this out Gyro pair because they thrive off that.
I think it's pretty interesting that Dota Plus had this win probability always in the favor of Team Liquid. Even when the game was closing up and they were only ahead by 6,000 net worth, Dota Plus was heavily favoring them the entire time. And maybe part of this is just the map presence that Team Liquid's able to exert. For Brame, it feels like they have to win 2 or 3 fights on their own side of the map before they can finally get aggressive. Liquid seem kind of free to pick and choose, try and find these openings. Eventually, Brame has got to show some sign of weakness, or maybe they won't.
I think the vision game's also been hurting them a lot. We saw a lot of their early wards get dewarded. Boxy's running around with a gem. They're trying to catch him on this, but again, it's just so hard. This Mirana ult, also pretty low cooldown spell at this point. Just gives Liquid a lot of ways to place vision. There's another observer down for them. Their map's basically entirely dark again, right?
Yeah.
Except for this northern tree line, and you ain't getting a fight up there, so it's just really difficult. I think they're just very scared on the map because of what they can see. It's never a great position to be in if you're the team looking for an engagement.
Yeah.
And I can't help but feel like they're missing a bit of their window here. Like when you're grouped and huddled like this for this long, it makes me worried how they're going to be able to take that next fight. Liquid, they're just kind of cruising to their later levels and item timings. That's 25 now. He's super chilling.
Now, you did say that some of these heroes hold up.
Spartan looking to do it for his team here.
Yeah. Mercapes runs away. Thug, he gets spotted here.
Somebody's got to find somebody here, right?
Yeah, he's going to jump in, tries to go for the kill onto the Mirana, but a forced down jump away. But Desire's on the other side, hits him perfectly. The Burrow Strike is not enough to be able to save Boxy, and now Liquid on the retreat. Want to be able to step away. Spartan and Desire chasing after them. Not going to be able to close that distance, though. They're too fast. You did say that Brame's lineup, you said, you know, like, it's not just the Morphling. You said the Void Spirit is going to be very strong late game as well.
I mean, even Death Prop, right?
Yeah.
Exorcism is always a real spell in the game. You always have to be aware of it. So
it's very
that
real.
plus the siphons, which are scaling off your HP, always have to think about this hero in the fights, no matter what her net worth's looking like. It just does not really matter for this hero. In Void Spirit, this hero's insanely powerful late game with all the ags and shards and talents that he can level up.
Brame.
The right hands, he's a terror.
If they were to move right, they would see the Bat Rider. In fact, they do see the Bat Rider. Desire jumps in. They are going to be able to KD off on Mickey first, and now he is kind of initiated for the Bat Rider, pulls him deeper into Liquid side of the map. The Terrorize goes down, but they collect the gem that Desire drops. That is going to feel very bad for Brame. They were struggling to get map control in the first place, and now it's about to get that much darker. Spartan. What is he doing here? He's going to get Burrow Struck and instantly killed. Thug tries to respond. The Gyrocopter down to half health, but something on BKB turns around. Satanic heal. The relocate out from the IO will get him to safety here. They're both going to TP back into mid lane. They want to be able to quickly go back into this fight as quick as possible. 11 forced to use his BKB as he retreats. The sticky napalm will slow him down too much. Rubino turning into the Gyrocopter, ready to go for another round of Black Cannon soon, but looks like they read this as an unwinnable engagement. Without their supports, and now their off lane are dead. The rest are going to head back to the base. Liquid win another engagement.
Guess these assholes on Earth Spirit are working out. It's not the highest priority target, but Mickey with this Octarine, he just feels happy to snag anybody at this point.
Yeah.
And then take the 5v4. It's really far out, so it's also helping them because you sometimes might be worried about this support buyback, but this Earth Spirit can buy back, this Dark Willow can buy back, but how do you even get there? It's a hard place to fight. You're down men, so good recognition by Liquid. The Roshan is up. They missed the scout on it. Otherwise, I think they would already be starting it here.
They do have a refresher now on the Bat Rider, so if he manages to catch a Void Spirit or Morphling, he might just full commit double lasso to make sure that they're dead. Back into the Roshan pit they go, though.
That was Ags on side. Very cool item to see. We don't see it a lot on these modern Sand Kings, but it still does a lot in these fights in terms of the ranged initiation. You can burrow in and blink out. Very confusing. You get those caustic pops sometimes, but the bigger thing here is combo with the pages. This has got to be worrisome because now you have a siege mechanism. There's not a lot of spell displacement on Brame's side outside of some crazy kickback. Probably their best high ground defense type deal. Kick Matuma back and then get the flax on Morph. Force Liquid to engage into you. But the 2 lives is going to give them a window to try and maybe force the fight or go high ground here.
The shard was given over to Mike, who, with that and the double lasso, he could actually output some serious damage by himself. Team Liquid, they're going to start playing into Bream's side of the map. They check the triangle first here during the Moonlight Shadow, start establishing some control. See if they have wards to place down Bream. Playing the other, the primary jungle right now. You could see they're all kind of lined up in the high ground, waiting for Team Liquid to stumble into them. But it's not going to happen. Liquid very disciplined about where these fights have been happening for the last like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Bream find a single fight that was on their terms and how they wanted it to go. And I don't think Liquid's going to give them anything better other than a high ground defense. Probably the best they can hope for to some degree as well. Where you have to look for the kickback, but Nikkei's just not going to give it to him.
Lasso one, they intercept the Terrorize as well and block the roll outside with the double play there. Very good read of the situation by him that nets them a single hero pickoff. That hero does have buyback though. Desire's ready to go. They need the opportunity. Matumba getting a little bit low, but he still has Aegis. Aeon Disc does go down right before the lasso, but Spartan looks like he's going to get burned from afar as that sticky napalm combined with the Flame. That's going to be enough. Zai is in with the epicenter and finished off the Void Spirit, but now they have to contend with the buybacks. It's going to be a full round of Brain heroes chasing after Liquid as they try and retreat. It looks like they're going to be okay, mostly because, most notably, the Thug did not opt to buyback there. Probably one of their better chasing heroes.
I don't even know if he can catch them. They're so fast.
That's true.
But that is technically a high ground defended. And without your Earth Spirit initiation, which is probably the best tool, but Zai just owning this fight. Gets the burrow on the counter initiator, gets the roll block. Then we're gonna see a little later, like, he's just going in to force those buybacks. We see another great burrow here. Just gonna force the Aeon Disc. Unfortunate time with the lasso. Maybe Mickey was thinking about double lassoing, but
here comes Zai, sees his opportunity. Blink, long range burrow hits the Void Spirit, the back line. Perfect target by him.
He'll pay for it with his life, but it's not the worst trade. And they're still going to have an Aegis timer in terms of if they want to do something like that again. And a double damage on Matumba. I mean, this is
stacking up to just be flat out unfair. Brain not going to have an even engagement, it seems, with Liquid. Whether they're fighting into the Aegis or pickoffs have already occurred. It feels like Liquid is always with the numbers advantage. So it looks like they're going to maybe go high ground again. They still have plenty of Aegis time.
There's no buyback on Earth Spirit.
Triple arrow catching the Void Spirit. No follow-up though from that one. BKB popped by Mickey. Thinks about going for Spartan here. It's kind of at his mercy with that many sticky napalm stacks, but Mickey instead actually did burn him out in time. Bottom lane is being split pushed right now by the Morphling. They're trying to force some heroes back. But at the same time, with all these boots of travels and relocates, they're going to be able to grab him.
Nice.
A blink in, a refresher, relocate, but Nubito, he's got a decent amount of HP with his BKB. He will manage to get out. So the problem being they still lost the lane in the barracks, and not much is going to change here. It's the epicenter. He sees the opportunity. 11 walked into it. The arrow follows up, and now there are 3 heroes dead with no buyback.
Just crumbling here. I even think that Morphling should have died. They're a bit more patient there, but not going to matter when your base is dying. Zai still looking for the burrow. Flame burrow into an arrow.
Flame break into the arrow. Beautiful combination from Team Liquid. And they may just be able to end this game with an Aegis still in hand. 20 seconds left to go for the throne. The rest of the team, though, focusing on getting Thug. Buyback from him, buyback from Nubito.
Almost still has Aegis for 10 seconds here.
Yeah, they're stuck in an awkward position. Looks like it's going to burn out before the throne actually dies. But it doesn't matter. The Morphling once again and again, caught by that combination. Burrow into Flame Break into Arrow. So tough for Brain to be able to play these fights with this kind of